In this video, I'll take you through how I edit the photos from my boxing themed photo shoot. Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that's got everything for us photographers. And this is another Planet Shoot It Edit series of videos with a boxing theme. This is actually the third one, the edit video. If you want to check out the previous two, planning and shooting, well, they're already on Adorama TV. So what am I going to do? Well, the boxing shoot went really well. The pictures I'm very pleased with. I've done a quick edit on some of the shots and I found there was two distinct styles of shot that worked. So the first one is a really gritty black and white shot. That looks great with the boxing theme. And the second one worked really well with the smoke. That's to bring up the texture. And I'll show you how I do both of them right now. So let's start with the black and white one. So here's an image in Photoshop's Camera Raw, and I want to edit this as a black and white shot. You can see it's got a few things that may need fine tuning. There's some things in the background. There's a purple patch here and a light up there, but I'll talk about those as we go through. First thing to do is just make this black and white, and I can do that first now because it's right here on the basic panel where before it was a bit hidden, and I'll explain where in just a second. But now I can just click black and white, and there we are, black and white. Whilst I'm here, let's just add in some of my favorites, a little bit of housekeeping like some clarity and some important stuff like actually adding some noise reduction. Next one along is the one I'm really interested in. It used to be HSL grayscale, now it's called black and white mix. So if you're using an older version of Photoshop, find the monochrome or grayscale box, check that, and then you'll be right here where I am now. So what does it do? Well, it gives me some sliders that relate to the color that was in the image and how bright that color should be in black and white. Basically, grab a slider, throw it either side. If you like the result, great. And that's what I'm going to do. Let's get the red slider and chuck it all the way over to the right-hand side. Anything that was red will become brighter, or the left-hand side, anything that was red will become darker. And this instantly reveals one of the mistakes I made in the planning stage, because I wanted Roger to wear red, because red's one of those powerful colors. And I forgot how red the room was that we would be in. So red room, red Roger, it really does become a bit of a problem with some of the black and white images. So in hindsight, I should have got Roger to wear blue. That would have been easier. Or even better, paint the room blue. Probably the first one, actually, now I think about it. So we'll make the reds a little bit brighter. Fortunately, there wasn't just red in the room. There is also some oranges and yellows. So orange has quite a strong effect. We'll bring that down. And yellow, especially in these beams around the top, because they were actually yellow, that gives us a very sort of darker look, which is what I want to try and make Roger stand out. Now the window was full of green foliage, so I reckon we can darken that down with the greens. The aquas do pretty much nothing, so they can go anywhere. Blue, this one's fun. Have a look at this here. So there's the flash in my shot, really couldn't get it anywhere else. It is going to be cloned out, but that's quite a tricky clone job. However, if I change the blue slider, notice how much easier that cloning job is going to be now. Okay, so there's a lot of blue in that light. Now remember that sort of weird purple patch in the right hand side? Well, I can make that brighter or darker as well, so we can just tone that purple down. I don't think there's much in the magentas, not really, so that can go almost anywhere. So that's basically the black and white bit done, but that's a global change and most photography needs a little bit of local adjustments to really enhance it. So let's do a bit of local work using the adjustment brush. So here in Camera Raw or in Lightroom, this could be in Lightroom too, same technique, find the adjustment brush and then you can start to go to town on the smaller areas. For example, down by his feet where I lost a little bit of brightness with the blue slider earlier, well, I can paint a bit more clarity down there and that's going to resolve that issue for me. Now, I also want some clarity on Roger's back, but I'm going to make sure I make a new brush because I might not want the same amount. Even though I'm painting exactly the same amount, it's always a good idea, whenever possible, to make your adjustment brushes new so you can selectively adjust the contrast, in this case, on a smaller area. So that works okay. There's a few bits I want to darken down, so let's make another new brush and we'll just darken down this white pad, which was a little bit bright. And whilst we're going, we'll just darken down some of this white work around the outside of the room. Obviously, you can go and clone that out. You get the idea. I'm not going to go through cloning in this video because we've done that many times before. So there it is with the cloning done and my final black and white image completed. So for the second look, it was the pictures that I did right at the end of the shoot with smoke. If you're going to do smoke, you always do it at the end of the shoot because there's not much you can do once you filled the room up with smoke. And we did fill it up. So I want to use a tool to really bring up the texture. Photoshop has some great tools, but nothing that really gives me the look I'm after. So in the past, I've used Nick's software. You can see previous videos where I've done that, like the first Planet Shoot It edit video. You'll find I use Nick there. But there are other tools, new and upcoming tools, and I'm going to use one of them here. I'm going to use Luminar by Skylum, or McFun as it once was known. If you want nothing more than a quick edit, you can just go and choose something like dramatic in this case, and we can just click on a whole bunch of dramatic effects and get some really fascinating one-click effects. That's great. I mean, I love a one-click effect like everybody else. However, in this case, what we want to do is just reset everything. So let's clear all this down, and we'll build this up bit by bit. So the first thing I want to do is to apply a sort of photo filter, just to make everything feel a little bit more sort of blue and cold and really emphasize that kind of cold. It was actually freezing in that gym, so we're going to add a little bit of a sort of cold feel, a little bit like that. Okay, that works quite nicely. Now to bring up the texture, a little bit of dramatic, I think. Let's go for that. We'll just move that off the screen so you can see it. For dramatic, I just need to add some drama, and as I add it in, you can see that works lovely to really bring up the texture in the smoke, and we can take it even further with a bit of local contrast as well. So that's quite nice. I like that. I'm less keen on the effect on Roger's face where it's just a little bit too strong, so I think what I'll do is just bring that back a little bit. And there's a brush right next to each filter, and I can choose the brush from the brush, make sure it's set to erase, and we can just erase that back on Roger's face and maybe a little on his arms just to bring a little bit of the, well, reality, whatever that is, back into the shot. Okay, I've got one more thing to do, so let's add one more filter and we'll make it an essential filter. We'll make it a vignette filter right here, and we'll just vignette this down slightly. Again, I'll just tidy my screen up. There we are. So we can just darken down the edges a little bit with this sort of vignetting effect, like so. I don't want to go too much, particularly on this left-hand side. So again, I'll get the brush, and this time I will choose the erase option, and we'll just bring some of that left-hand side back through. And again, there's a little bit of tidying up to be done, but there you go. There is my final boxing picture completed. Well, if you've enjoyed this series of Planet Shoot It Edit, don't forget to leave me a comment below. And if you want to see more videos from myself and the other amazing presenters right here on Adorama TV, you know what you got to do. You got to click on that subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.